Hey Jonah.
What's up, AJ? How are you?
Good.
Good.
Thanks for joining me and let's just chat a little bit.
Yes, excited to meet you in person finally.
Yeah. Wait, is this the first time?
It's the first time we met in person. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I've known you for a little over a year, I guess.
Yeah, been a lot of Zoom calls.
A lot of Zoom calls. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't you kind of introduce yourself, talk through both what you're doing before and what you're doing now.
Okay. So, like I said, I'm Johna Charles with Orbit Media Group, digital marketing agency focused on home services. I've been doing that for about 4.5 years now. Built it from the ground up with my partner. Grew it pretty large. Have it self-maintaining. It's kind of stabilized. Really, it's a really cool industry because I can have my hands in a bunch of different pies. It allows me to be creative and not kind of do that mundane day-to-day, the same stuff every day. And I like the flexibility of having that control over different brands and different industries and different marketing initiatives in general. One company can do this specifically, and then the other companies, let's be creative and do. Let's do Reddit ads and let's try do fun things. So I'm always learning, and Orbit was a really good experience there. Yeah. But as we grow, we're talking about potentially selling the company, and valuation is kind of based on a lot of different factors. But the fact that I was in the day-to-day so much, it really affected the potential value of the business. That's why I stepped out of the day-to-day role, trusting my team. Lexi is a phenomenal operations manager, director of operations. Sorry. I trust her. She's doing it, getting the stuff done, taking care of the clients. But obviously, not doing day-to-day with Orbit opened me up for a lot of free time, and didn't really know what to do with it. Didn't really know what I wanted to get into. Obviously, I've been in marketing and technology for 10, 15 years now. I guess 12 technically. So I started looking for jobs and opportunities in that space.
You gotta keep yourself busy.
Yeah, I know. I can't just sit at home all day. I don't know if you know, I have a 1-year-old daughter, and it's great being at home with her and stuff, but I need kind of an escape to I need my brain to be active and productive and doing work just to stay motivated, because I felt like I was hitting a slump. Yeah. With that, I found Division I Roofing. I was familiar with them. They're a pretty large name in the Columbus market. I applied for one role, kind of killed the interview. I hit it off with the guys there really well. They weren't really sure where they could use me because I could do so many different things. So they kind of gave me some options. Either I can run marketing, I can be a developer, I can be the chief revenue officer. And I ended up going with the chief revenue officer role just because I love I'm passionate about working with people and the psychology of the sale and the sales side of the business. But I also love that technology element of things where I'm into the weeds of why are these campaigns working, where should I be spending money, how can I maximize revenue and profitability on these jobs. So it kind of gave me a diverse playing field that I can kind of stretch my legs out in different directions and learn a little bit about a little more about the roofing industry. I've been in the space for 6 years now, and it's something I keep gravitating to and ending up at. So I feel like it's maybe a heaven sent or a blessing because I found such a good company and a great group of people to be with.
Yeah, love that. So you've seen quite a bit in this industry at this point.
Yeah, I've started really small with, not small, I guess it's all subjective, but from 10 to almost 200 million in revenue. So I've been on all sides of the roofing space and a lot of cool opportunities, and it's cool to watch people grow. Yeah,
and then you've gotten to see also through your other clients at Orbit that are not outside of roofing. Yeah. You get to kind of see, I'm sure you've starting to see what elements are unique to roofing and what elements are just good business principles in general.
Obviously in the home services space, there's a lot of overlap, but there still is that autonomy where there's specific things that work really well for one industry, but are completely tanking another. Yeah. And I leverage that experience and that knowledge to be successful in the role I'm in now.
I love that. What, based on kind of that experience, and I'm sure you put a lot of thought into this going into Division One, is what do you see as like the biggest kind of blind spots right now for roofers in 2024 going into 2025?
It depends on their market. Obviously, there's a lot of things that can like affect that, but the biggest thing to me is probably exposure. Everyone thinks they're running a Facebook ad campaign, they're doing the Google ads, maybe they have GLSA, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're doing it right. And they probably, in Columbus, in a 10-mile radius, there's probably 20 roofing companies, and a lot of companies are having a tough time finding what sets them apart, or like identifying like something that separates them from the crowd. There's a lot of different ways that clients, roofing companies can do that. But I think the biggest thing is just like maintaining a consistent brand. And like I know people like that should be pretty common knowledge, but like a lot of people have a lot of inconsistencies, whether it's their proposals or their the actual contract, or maybe their trucks are mismatched, or business cards aren't all the same, even email signatures. There's a lot of simple things like that people are missing, and it affects the professionalism in the customer's eyes. And I think a lot of people, homeowners, the customers, they see that as an opportunity for a bad experience. If the client sees all this mismatched stuff, one, is confusing them, but two, it shows a lack of organization. And my concern as a homeowner would be, if they can't get that right, like, can they get my roof right? Can they get my windows right? It's complicated, but it really doesn't have to be.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we've been hearing this from a lot of people today. It's just like kind of the way consumers are buying and deciding on what companies they work with is just changing more and more. I mean, even what worked the last year or two, is getting away. Like Google searches is down for like the first time ever. It's like one of the trends, and so it makes sense.
Google search and Meta, I know some other agencies will probably like talk down on this comment, but like the market's changed. We're in a recessionary period, and we have an election coming up. Yeah. So like the amount of space that's available for ads in general is limited, and I think it's just something we got to wait a couple months to get over the hump, and things power through your winter, and things will pick back up and be steady again. That's the hope. Like that's what I'm kind of counting on. And it's tough to kind of predict that, but if you have all of your ducks in a row, you have everything ready to roll, I think give it a couple months and roll stuff out, heavy spend at the beginning of the year, and just get out in front of as many people as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you think is the kind of biggest areas for potential wins going into 2025 that you see? Is it what strategies do you see that you think are going to be most successful in the new year when it comes to generating leads?
There's two parts to that. Again, it's just getting in front of as many people as possible on whatever channel it may be. Scott's strategy with Rain Stoppers worked really well in his market with the videos, and I think it's absolutely a necessity for the space now. It's like you need to be on video, you need to personalize the brand, and like it doesn't have to be the owner, it could be a sales rep or even somebody on staff dedicated to that. Just putting a face in front of people. That's not enough. Like you need that like constant communication with the homeowners too. I think a lot of that can be done through automation, and obviously you guys are doing a lot of that with ProLine. But the days of like manually following up with a lead, and I heard something today at one of the keynote sessions, like physically calling the homeowner after the job is done and say, hey, how'd the job go? Do you have any problems? Is there anything else we can do for you? And like, how can I get a referral from you? Or what, like making it more personal again, because a lot of this is like technology is coming in, and it's no longer like a person doing business with another person. It's the homeowner working with a technology or an app, and this space, like especially around your home, like I think personalization, or I think that's personalization, like having that hand-to-hand handshake and conversation is really, really big and instrumental in personal relationship.
Yeah, the personal touch is even more important than it's ever been.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's more effective than it's ever been. Because it's like, 20 years ago, like everyone gave that personal touch because there was nothing else but personal touch, right? And then now we're in this world where there's so many automation systems that are sending kind of like generic, very non-personal automations and messages, and then people are interacting with these like very impersonal interfaces and yeah, so like if you can find ways, and the best is when you can find a way to both automate something and still have it be a personal touch.
Yeah.
And if you can kind of make as much of your automations also personal, I mean it's just an overall win.
So that's a very good point. When you're trying to scale, like it's difficult to have somebody constantly on their phone texting at 24/7, like setting up those automations to fill the gaps. Like there's still that like level of involvement that the sales rep or the business development representative needs to do, but like you can streamline a lot of these things and still show the customer that you're taking initiative and being proactive about the communication. Like you said, as things progress, I mean, we're going backwards in time. History always repeats itself. Like we got into technology, everyone was afraid to answer the phone, like they just wanted to be left alone. And now, if you're going out there and showing your face and being a human, like you're gonna stand up against your competition.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we go either be a human and then build systems around your business that allows you to do that in a profitable, scalable way. It's like marrying those two concepts together. I think it's just so key.
That's a good point. Like systemizing your business, whether you're planning on expanding into new markets or if you just want to onboard more people, like that's a huge thing that people miss. And setting like your standard operating procedures and like defining truly what that person's job duties are and what their responsibilities are is infinitely scalable, and it's something that you can control all the way from the top down.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, the successful people are doing that. They're implementing that. When I came into Division 1, like I have clear expectations of what my responsibilities are. I've been here for 3 days now, and like I'm going to go back into the office Monday after RoofCON, and like I know where to start. So like we set those expectations when I started working with the company. So there's never any misunderstanding of what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And I know that might be tough for some companies that are a little bit smaller, where everybody's wearing different hats, but with the size that Division 1 is, like we can afford to have those silos of division. Obviously, we're all working towards one goal, but having accountability for specific responsibilities is huge. And it's great to know, like, the production guys got my back on production, and the accounting team's got my back on accounting. Like, I'm responsible for growth. And, like, it's nice to have that structure and clear direction.
Yep. And everyone knows their piece of the puzzle.
Exactly.
It's been laid out. Yeah. I love it. Well, thanks so much, Jonah.
AJ.
I appreciate the time. If somebody is looking for marketing services from Orbit, where would they go?
It's going to be www.weareorbit.co. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, Johna Charles. I'm happy to help in whatever capacity anybody needs. Happy to just have a conversation too. I love marketing, love roofing. Happy to connect.